Hello, welcome back to the Level 20 Lounge for Level 20 Sportsline. We've got a great show for you tonight. We've got more guests than we have time for. We got a lot of stuff to go over. I'm Mike Migliori, Chip Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier, and Al Levine. We're going to start off with what's on your mind. Al, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is that championship caliber Pitt team that gave Notre Dame everything they could handle and more. And then what happened to our coaching? What goes on out there? How do you make some of those plays? And then you got referees that make some calls. We got all the excuses in the world. And right when I thought Tino Sunseri had some class, he throws his kicker under the bus. I mean, if he would have completed a better pass, if he wouldn't have taken a couple of those sacks or thrown a ball away once in a while, he wouldn't have thrown Harper under the bus. I mean, come on now. They gave the number 3 team in the country everything they could handle. And Notre Dame, look at how they dropped to 4 now. We were talking about the BCS. I guess somebody on BCS was listening. Now they're number 4, and I heard them talking today. They said the only way is if K-State and Oregon lose, will Notre Dame get up to number 2. That's what's on my mind.
Thanks, Al. Smoking Jim.
Hey, thanks, Magic Mike. I want to first of all welcome my hero back. Bobby Gold, coach of the Three Rivers Explosion, is in the house, so give him a big hand. And also, a lot of people may not realize, but I got 13 God kids. That's G-O-D-K-I-D-S. So I love kids. That probably makes me the Black Godfather. But all my prayers go out to the lady at the Pittsburgh Zoo who lost her 2-year-old child that fell in and was eaten alive by the wild animals. So, and my prayers and hearts goes out to all the families of all the parents that had to bury their child or their young teenage kids. Too much of that is happening right now. Steve Spurrier, not only was he a Heisman Trophy winner, not only was Steve Spurrier one of the greatest football players of all time, Steve Spurrier is one of the greatest coaches of all time. Winning program at South Carolina, winning program at Florida, winning program at Duke, and he also was a winner in the pros for the Tampa Bay Bandits. Last week, Steve Spurrier said that Alabama could beat some of the NFL teams, and everybody laughs. I happen to agree. Hey, listen, my dad told me back in 1965, a group of college all-stars played the great Jimmy Brown and the Cleveland Browns. Those all-stars were led by Dick Butkus and Gale Sears and took it to the Browns. The last time a group of college all-stars played an NFL team was in 1976. The group of all-stars took it to the defending Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the game that Jack Hydroplane Delaplane made a name for herself. Now listen, if a group of college all-stars who've only been practicing together for 1 week can go against a great NFL team, what can a well-oiled Alabama team do against an NFL team? Yesterday, the Chicago Bears scored 51 points against Tennessee. The owner, Bud Adams, said we were out-coached and we were outplayed. I tell you what, if Tennessee played that poorly against Alabama, Oregon, or Notre Dame, head owner Bud Adams would be saying, Steve Spurrier, you're right again.
Thanks, Jim. Chip, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Well, I'm going to stick with the college football aspect, and Alan touched on a couple of things about Pitt's pretty impressive performance against Notre Dame. But right now there are, I believe, 6 undefeated teams in the in college football. There's the ones that are in the first, second, and third, fourth place in the BCS are all undefeated at 9-0. One of the undefeated teams is 10-0 and shouldn't even be considered in the top 10 because they're ineligible this year, but yet they are. And then the oddest thing of a bunch is there's another team that's 9-0 that's ranked number 10, and there are teams with 2 losses that are ranked ahead of them. which once again speaks to the fact that the BCS is a bunch of crap and they don't know how to rate the teams. You know, Louisville, the University of Louisville is 9-0, and they're undefeated. And I think, you know, undefeated beats somebody with 1 or 2 losses any day of the week. And to speak once again to the fact that Tino Sinceri running his mouth and putting down one of his own teammates and blaming the loss on the fact that the kicker missed a field goal. You know, Tino Sinceri doesn't know the first thing about being a leader. He may be the quarterback of the Pitt Panthers, and he should enjoy himself for the next 3 games, because those are going to be the last 3 games that he plays quarterback for anybody. As a matter of fact, he's such a poor quarterback that I don't think he can start for the Pittsburgh Explosion. That's what's on my mind.
He got extra equipment. He
Don't
can't.
badmouth the Explosion. It's a Three Rivers Explosion, first of all. Okay. And their quarterback is much better looking than Tino Sinceri.
He would be a poor backup.
Yeah. Tell you what's on my mind. Donald Fair. Donald Fair ruined baseball, but he's learning a lot about the difference between baseball and hockey, and the difference between baseball players and hockey players, and the huge difference between baseball owners and hockey owners. The NHL made a very decent offer to the players, a 50% split between them and the players as far as hockey revenues, also that they would be able to play a complete season, and the union is balking at it. They talked today, they talked a little yesterday, they're going to talk again tomorrow, but something that Donald Fair never ran into with the baseball union is that the Major League Baseball owners didn't really care so much about the game as they cared about making money and getting things going. The baseball players, same thing, didn't really care so much about the game as how much they're getting paid, and a lot of them thought they could run off to Japan. They even talked about starting their own league for a while. The NHL players want to play hockey. The owners want to have a season. The only thing that's stopping them right now is the players' union. And Donald Fair, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know how it's going to come about or what the final deal is going to be. I guarantee you don't have that job next year. We talked a little bit, Al did, Chip did, about the game between Pitt and Notre Dame. I got to tell you, I watched that game. If you'll talk to Smoke and Jim, I told him early that morning that Pitt will run all over that team.
Sure
With
did.
17 points, you take that 17 points, you're gonna win. And that's exactly what they did. Pitt ran all over that team up until the 4th quarter. Beginning of the 4th quarter, Pitt's inside the Notre Dame 10, and the genius they have for a head coach decides to throw the ball, even though they got a running back that's already got 179 yards rushing. They couldn't stop this guy at all. But Chris decides, well, let's throw the ball. Not once or twice, 3 times. They go 3 and out. They settle for a field goal, which at the time makes the score 20-6. And as soon as they kicked that field goal, Pitt was doomed. How do you do that? How do you stop doing what got you to where you are and start to throw the ball for like no apparent reason? And Jim, you watch an awful lot of college football. Was that 4th quarter the worst coached football game that you've ever seen?
Come on, Magic. Nothing they could do. You wasn't going to beat the luck of the Irish. It was in the cards, man. But, yeah, I have to agree with you. That was a horrible coaching job. All they had to do was continue to run the football. You're up by 2 touchdowns, and I couldn't agree with you more.
Not only that, but then later on in the game, under 4 minutes left, they intercept the ball in the end zone with an 8-point lead, and they come out and threw the ball again. Three straight passing plays, 3 and out. Notre Dame gets the ball back, and at that point it was all over. Even though they did end up going to overtime, but it was written in the cards. Why do you stop running the ball at that point? At that point, Graham had, 199 yards rushing to finish the game. They ran all over Notre Dame. The only time they didn't run at will is when they decided not to run.
Well, I got to take your word for it because I missed the game because I did the TV broadcast for the City League football championship, and I had my bulletproof vest on.
How did that turn out?
Overtime victory. University Prep lost 9-6 to Perry Commodores. So
Did anybody kick any extra points or field goals?
there was a field goal kick to win it in overtime. Can you believe it? They lined up at the 2-yard line, and I tell you what, man, it almost didn't make it.
That's when you talk about the City League, and I mean, I would love to see the City League teams get a chance to play against the WPIL teams because a lot of those kids are very, very good athletes, but for whatever reason, those coaches don't understand or don't think there's any benefit to kicking extra points or field goals. It's very rare that happens.
Them black kids are good in basketball.
I heard that someplace. What's basketball?
It's a game we don't play here in Pittsburgh.
What about soccer? Don't they have any City League soccer teams that they could kick a field goal or something once in a while? Come on now. Smoking Jim, you're a scout.
If you play soccer in the City League, you're going to get beat up.
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to make it home.
You're going to get bullied, bro.
If you want to walk home unmolested, you don't play soccer.
Yeah. I think that even though Tino Sinceri should not have said anything derogatory about the kicker, I don't believe it's the kicker's fault that they lost that game. I don't believe it's Sinceri's fault that they lost that game. I would put that entire blame on Paul Christ. And if I was Nordenberg and I was the president, or even if I was Peterson, the athletic director at Pitt, I'd have called down to the sidelines in the fourth period and told them, don't even get on the bus because you're fired.
Well, I mean, I do say that Sinceri's got to take some of the blame for that loss because if he would have actually been able to drop back and pass the ball instead of being sacked, the guy can't escape a rush if his life depended on it.
But you know that, and I know that, and everybody in here knows that. So why doesn't Paul Christ know that?
Well, like I said earlier when the season started, it's ironic that Chris said, I need a couple more weeks yet. I'm glad we had this learning stage here, but we need a couple more weeks. Well, guess what? He ran out of time. And it proves when you have a losing culture, which they've had, that, look, they lose their heart when they need that. Smoking Jim talks about it. We talk about you get a little tougher when the going gets tough. What do you got to do? You play a little harder. They don't do that. Look, they're pointing fingers. Sinceri's taking a fall. As soon as one guy's running after him, he falls down. How crazy is that? One guy. Now, if 5 or 6 are hitting him, like we'll talk about other quarterbacks that happens. They get away with it. But you knew something was going to happen. And I have this theory that there's corruption throughout. Look at 17 points. You knew in the fourth quarter that there's no way anybody who took the points was going to lose. So now you can think about it. How much was bet on that game? And then why would you throw 3 passes in 2 series each time? Think about it. There's no way you come out from the goal line and then start passing. There's no way. Do an investigation on that. That's the things that bother me. When it doesn't make sense to you, we all watch sports.
Neil O'Donnell was one of the referees.
No, you know
what?
what?
That was his family from Jersey.
We need Free to do another report.
No, you don't. They got to investigate him. That's $6 million job there.
Party. But, part of Pitt's problem is they can keep a coach for more than a year. Maybe they might have a team that would have a clue as to what they're doing. They've gone through, 3 or 4 coaches in the last 3 years? So, maybe we ought to give Chris a couple of years and recruit some players that can actually, play and see what he can do. But certainly they haven't found that out this year.
You mean, Chris matures? I mean, he's been a coach for a while.
That was his
offensive coach. And wasn't he a quarterback also? So he should know some of the game.
See, I don't agree. I think that Paul Christ has been the head coach 1 quarter, 3 overtimes, way too long. I'd have got rid of him. Like I said, he'd be gone on Saturday. He'd have been gone. You can't call a game like that. There's a reason that he's never been head coach before, and he'll never be a head coach anywhere else again. They may keep him on at Pitt, but his coaching career is over when he leaves here.
Well, I think you go further. Peterson should go. Look at the decisions he's made. Come on now. He's the guy that's responsible for this.
Well, that's true, except he did go. He brought him back.
Yeah, but that's the problem. How do you come back?
After he ruined
Nebraska.
the University of Nebraska, which was winning national titles like they were growing corn. Up until
they can't grow corn anymore either out there.
No, they can't grow anything out there. But I mean, Peterson came back here. He's made some really, really bad decisions, and I think to turn that program around, that's where they need to start.
Well, luckily they're going to the ACC, so that'll cure some of that where they don't have to win.
Well, and while
they couldn't win in the Big East.
I didn't notice.
While we're on the college football, before we move over to the pros, speaking of the pros, Jim, you're right. Alabama could probably beat most of the pro teams that they have this year, but they can't beat Oregon.
Them ducks are special.
They'll never play him. That's why.
Probably not.
They'll never get to play him.
There's like, it would take a constitutional amendment to have a BCS championship game without a team from the SEC in it, even though Kansas State and Oregon are probably the two best teams. But that'll still be a great game to watch because they'll score a lot of points. It'll be very exciting.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will.
And I guess there was another football game related to the city of Pittsburgh this week. The soon-to-be 8-8 Pittsburgh Steelers beat the New York Giants. Is that correct?
Well, you know what? I want to ask my friend Jim here. The last 3 weeks in a row, he picked against the Steelers.
Yes.
Please, pick the Chiefs next week.
I just won 3 houses. I won 3 houses because of you. Thank you.
The Steelers put up an impressive performance against the Giants, and this is one of the things that scares me about the Steelers is that after beating the defending champions and pretty decidedly yesterday, they didn't allow them to really score an offensive touchdown. They're going to play one of the worst teams in the league, probably in the history of the league, next Monday night, and this is the kind of game that the Steelers usually end up stepping on it. In the middle of it. They've got either Brady Quinn or Matt Castle is going to be the starting quarterback, or should I say sacrificial lamb. But, the Chiefs got no business even being in a game with the Steelers, and this is the kind of game that scares me because they're going to be reading those headlines this week about how wonderful they were by beating the defending champs. They're going to forget that they're playing a team this Monday night.
Chip, have no fear. I told you this past week, don't worry about the Giants. Who cares? We don't have an offensive line. The offensive line's still doing blocking and tackling, and they're not calling all the penalties. So that'll happen again. We played at the level of the competition. It's a tradition in Pittsburgh. We all know that. So they're going to play to Kansas City's level, but they will win. I don't care who's smoking Jim Picks this week. I already won 3 houses in spite of him once I got off his bandwagon. But he does pick some nice winners. So.
But I will tell you this Pittsburgh's offensive line has been playing amazingly the last 3 weeks. Steelers have been averaging 150, 155 yards rushing per game. They can continue to do that. They're going to continue to win football games. Yesterday they get the ball back with 2 minutes and 58 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and they just shut the door on the Giants. I was telling everybody around me that would listen, the last team that's got the ball in this game is going to win, and the Giants never got a chance to possess it. They ran the clock out.
And if you look at the Steelers' schedule, it's set up favorably for them to make a great run right here. Couple games against the Cleveland Browns, another game against the Cincinnati Bengals. You got the Chiefs. You're playing the Dallas Cowboys. So, the Pittsburgh
Did you
Steelers,
mention
San
that
Diego
team?
Chargers.
No, what other team? Who's that player that you're?
Baltimore Ravens.
That Hall of Fame guy can't play?
Ray Lewis.
Oh, okay. Greatest linebacker of all time?
Greatest football player of all time.
Okay. Thanks. But that helps, too. Think about it.
Yeah, but the Steelers can't be looking ahead to the Ravens because we've got the Ravens at home a week from next Sunday. But, we've still got to take care of business against the Chiefs. And, like I said, this is the kind of game that scares me.
Well, Halloween's over. The trick-or-treats are done there, buddy. They're going to win.
Well, we've got a great tradition of defensive football players here in Pittsburgh. A lot of great linebackers like Greg Lloyd, Jack Ham, Andy Russell. And we got a great guest right now. We got another Pittsburgh linebacker, Kadisha Clark. Kadisha, come on up. Kadisha, well, show him the shirt. Kadisha plays for the Three Rivers Explosion. Tell us a little bit about your football career, Kadisha.
It's very short. Started last year was my first full season. I tried out with the team the year before, but it was in nursing school, so it didn't really work out. But last year was my first full season. I think it went amazingly well. Made the All-Star team as a linebacker, so.
Congratulations.
Did you say that 2 years ago you tried out for the team and you got cut?
No, I
Who
didn't
cut
get
you?
cut. Coach Cole did. He said
Boo.
no nurses on the team. You can't be on the team if you're a nurse. No, I'm kidding. I was in nursing school at the time, so I kind of had to.
Did you
A
graduate
little conflict of
Yes,
interest
I
there.
did.
You're trying to put people in the
Yes, I
hospital.
did. I know. Thank you.
Trying to drum up business.
I know. We got to do that. We got to do that sometimes.
Hold it, wait, isn't that a conflict of interest? You're a nurse and you're a
Yes.
linebacker.
Yes.
But you did balance it out because you're a fullback.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand now. Just so we got that straight.
I just like hitting people either way.
All right.
Either way, just want to hit people.
As long as it's not me, have at it.
Exactly.
So how's the team look so far?
So we got a lot of new talent coming for the next season, so we're really excited about it. We finished up the season. We did pretty good. We got a lot of new talent coming on, so we're just really excited to see where it goes, pretty much.
And well, I saw you about a week ago
Yes.
at the Halloween party.
Yes.
What exactly were you dressed up as?
I was a replacement ref.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Yes, she was. She was a replacement referee.
Yes.
And she made
Did you
some
make any good calls?
better than you saw yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, better than me. No question.
Okay, well, your season starts when?
In April. Coach said our first game would be April 6th, so we've just been working hard in the off season, trying to condition, pretty much trying to get back to the basics to learn the game so that we can play to our fullest potential. So we're really excited about the next
And
season.
this will be your second year.
This will be my
How'd
second
you
year,
finish
yes.
last year?
I think on the team personally, we did pretty well. I mean, you can always improve your performance. You can always do better, but we did the best we could with what we had. So
How's it coaching?
coaching is awesome. Our coaching
Where's
staff.
a cameo for that guy?
The coaching staff, they're really amazing. They understand that they're working with women, so they try to adjust it, and they try to really teach us the basics, try to get us to understand what we need to do so that we can perform to the best of our ability.
To be a middle linebacker, you got to be awfully smart.
Yes.
And one of the hardest degrees you can get is a nursing degree. My sister's a registered nurse, so
Yes.
I know what you guys had to go through. I mean,
Yeah.
you just about had to do the same courses that a doctor would take. So I know
Yeah.
you can handle all the calls on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep, trying.
So you're a really good linebacker?
I like to think so.
Probably be getting called by Gateway here as soon as they see this.
Maybe.
Recruit you.
Well, I know one thing. Coach Bobby Gold already contracted us to do it, to put a game on TV. So I'm looking for those locker room interviews.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
That's what he's hoping. Come on, get feed into that.
He's trying to do.
They do them outside the locker room, I heard.
Exactly.
Bring a tape recorder.
No tape recorders.
No camera, no tape
Yeah,
recorder.
No nothing. Got to go by memory.
No interview.
All right, Kadesha, anything else you'd like to tell us?
No, we're just looking for people to come out and support the team. We do have a tryout coming up this weekend at Chartiers Valley Primary School. It's from 3 to 6. We like women who are going to be interested in the game, who want to learn more about the game. No experience is necessary. We are willing to teach players. We just ask for, someone who wants to actually come out and genuinely play the game. They're really interested. So.
Well, thank you very much.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
luck to you next season.
Thank you.
One of the best interviews we ever had. I didn't know there was that much. I didn't know there was any smart people come out of Newcastle.
Oh, there's another town he's not welcome in. Another bulletproof vest.
That's not like she's from Clarion. All right, well, guys, we also saw the start of the NBA season, which I know absolutely nothing about, but I'm sure we must want to talk about it. The only thing I know is the Lakers got off to a really bad start.
Yeah, they spent all that money on Dwight Howard, bringing in what was Nash is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steve Nash.
they didn't win a game in the preseason, and they didn't win a game in the regular season up until when? Last night?
I think
They got their
Nash-
first win.
Worst start in their history.
I think Nash is hurt pretty bad. I don't know that he's going to see a whole lot of the season. He's got quite an injury there. But, at this point, I guess, I don't know, like you said, basketball's not the sport I know the most about, except that I do know that the Dallas Mavericks are going to win the NBA championship again.
Pick the team with the most white players again.
Now, you know damn well I've never seen a basketball game, and I would have no idea how many white players are on either team. So,
Well, all I know is I'm on a roll, as far as basketball. I haven't lost a basketball bat in the last 11 years. Every day, the day after Christmas, I take all my God kids, and we are undefeated watching professional basketball. This will be the 12th year in a row. Day after Christmas, the Harlem Globetrotters will win again. I'm undefeated, baby. I love some pro basketball.
Does your bookie take that bet anymore? Come on.
Speaking about pro basketball, listening to the talk shows last week, they're bringing up the question is, would a professional basketball team survive here in Pittsburgh? And there's 2 headstones out there for 2 professional basketball teams that lived and died in Pittsburgh in a very short period of time. Pro ball will never fly in this city. This is a football town. It's a hockey town. We love our Pirates, but you're never going to put enough warm bodies into an arena to justify having a professional basketball team here in Pittsburgh.
And it's a shame because one of the all-time greatest basketball players in NBA history, one of the all-time greats. Matter of fact, he's one of the few guys that has his jersey retired by UNLV. Played right here in Bethel Park, played 14 years in the NBA. Arm and the Hammer Gilliam. So there's some great basketball, not only in the City League, but out here in Bethel Park.
Well, it is a hotbed with basketball in high school and even some of the college teams. Look at how Duquesne was ranked in the national championships in the 50s and 60s. Look at Pitt over the years. And you had a lot of players here that did go on to the pros from throughout the city. Look at your City League players. You had some of the best City League players playing on championship teams in the NBA. You can probably tell me a dozen right now, right off the top of your head. So it is a basketball town, but it's not a pro basketball town.
Well, I don't know. Like Jim said, Harlem Globetrotters start their season, or what they consider their season, right here in Pittsburgh the day after Christmas every year for as long as I can remember. Did you say 31 children?
I got 13
13.
Looking for number
13.
14.
What's the difference?
Looking for number 14.
Where's it at? Where's the little baby at then? Where's 14 at? Come on.
Well, I'm going to tell you,
Where's 14?
Like I said, we have a ton of guests coming up today. I'm going to bring up right now one of my all-time favorite people, great singer, great actress, and pretty hot model. She's melted all the ice in my drink already. Melody Joy Novak, come on up.
I have absolutely nothing to do with sports. Are my lips all red?
No.
I've been eating a lollipop over there. It's really good. It was
We
like
have
extra
red light
Halloween
here,
candy.
so it's not
Yeah,
showing
no, but
up.
you guys are very entertaining. I watched your show on YouTube. Michael told me to check it out. And I think you guys are really great, and you should have your show on national TV.
Oh,
Serious.
thank you.
I mean it, yeah, especially you. You're really funny.
We've been
Yeah.
saying that also. But
Yeah?
I'd like to.
Let's make it happen.
In addition to all the talent that Melody has, and she is a very, very talented young lady.
Thank you.
Melody was also a very brave young lady and rode out the storm in New York.
Wow.
She lives in Queens, and
Yeah.
Queens got battered.
Yeah.
But Melody
Yeah.
got through that and made her way back
Thank you.
to vote, right?
Yes, I came back to vote. That's why I came back. But I do miss Pittsburgh. Like, there's nothing like home. And, like, just being in the sports bar right now and seeing everything, I'm like, yeah, you can't get this in New York. You just can't. I have a lot of shows out there, so I have, like, 5 this month. So, yeah, it's good that I moved. I just moved this year. So far, I got really blessed, and the hurricane didn't touch me. My power didn't even go out, nothing. Like, it barely rained, and it didn't really rain either in Brooklyn. So, but in Manhattan, Long Island, it's very like apocalyptic. Everything's it's like a ghost town. The subways were shut down. It's very scary, but yeah. And Michael was very worried. He was calling me like nonstop, and he thought something happened to me. But I ended up falling asleep. So I was answering my phone, and he's like, "Uh-oh, she's dead. She's gone." I slept through the hurricane. I literally did. That's 14 hours I slept.
Wow.
Yeah.
While you might not have got much rain, a large part of Queens burnt down.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
what I saw.
How did you
live
miss
in
all
Queens. So,
I'm kind of glad I did.
Wasn't
I'm
worth
not gonna
staying
lie.
up for.
My sister got hit in North Wildwood. She just moved on a couple weeks ago. but
Wow.
Her place is okay, but there's devastation all around her.
Yeah.
You had that Pittsburgh bubble travel with you, because we hardly got beat up here,
Yeah,
too.
I know. I don't know. I'm just I'm very blessed. Anytime I heard the wind blow, I would like knock on wood and I'd be like saying a prayer and I'd go outside and my roommates were like, no, it's okay, nothing's gonna happen, but like everybody was freaking me out. The media freaked me out, I think, more than they always hype everything up.
This wasn't that big a hype, just so you know.
No, this was really
Just
serious.
so you know, this was the biggest storm in like history.
Yeah, essentially Katrina
There hasn't
hit New
been one.
York. Yeah, and I hope we can recover
It was like
from
a triple Katrina.
Yeah, but needless to say, I really do miss
case you
Pittsburgh,
slept
and I
through
really
it.
do miss home, and it's good to be back. And I miss the Steelers, and no matter where I am, I will always root for them. And the Penguins too. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
In fact-
welcome back to the show anytime with
Thank
that
you.
comment.
In fact, I wear my Pittsburgh gear in New York to sort of make a statement. I'm a blue collar girl.
How's
in a
it
big
working
city.
out there?
Good. Very, very good. And
Tell us. Good.
Yeah. No. What,
Tell us a little bit about the music that you do.
Yeah, thank
your
you.
singing and your shows you have coming up.
My shows are really weird. My music's really weird, but I think you'd like it. It's I'm a producer. I make electronic, techno, pop, hip hop, all sorts of music, and I sing and I rap and I.
All right, you rap?
Oh,
Mike
yeah.
love
yeah.
rap.
Yeah, most people would not expect that, but like
Can you do a little tune for us?
there might be swearing in it, but.
No,
We'll just bleep it.
No, I don't know if I could do
No,
that.
it's okay, no.
If you wanna check out my music, actually go to you could Google search it, or go to thetalentedmelodyjoy.com.
I can
And a
get
lot
some
of
rap.
it's there.
I can get some rap
Come
there.
up with that name.
Actually, it's a friend of mine. The friend of mine made the name. I didn't make the name. I didn't make the name. I'm serious. All the others were taken. One was taken by a real estate agent.
No.
Her name's Melody Joy. Yeah. True
That's
story.
not even fair.
I know, and I own the trademarks to my name now, so it's pretty
Smart.
legit. But yeah, I'm a serious rapper. I think I get it from my dad because my dad raps a
All
lot,
right.
and you would not expect that either from him. But
Is he
yeah,
a little taller than you?
yeah, he's a lot taller than
Your
me.
dad wasn't Vanilla Ice, was he?
That's what I was asking.
He might have been. I don't know. No, but I actually got to go on Brooklyn College Radio, and I got to like do a rap segment. I got to rap on Brooklyn College Radio, which was really fun. It was, it was probably the coolest thing ever. And the guy's like, "You're probably the best. You're the best rapper in here."
All
Out of
right.
all 5 guys too. So I was like, "Wow, that's
You freestyle and all that?
freestyle. That's not my thing. Like
Okay.
I can't really freestyle, but like if I put together a really good rap, it's the best rap you'll ever hear."
Magic, you gotta bring more rappers on.
Yeah, he doesn't
the only
trust
one I
me.
know.
You're not. Yeah, he's not gonna know many rappers. You wouldn't expect me. I'm like in a sweater vest right now. You wouldn't expect me to be a rapper, but yeah,
But you're a Steeler fan, so that helps.
yeah.
What I can say is that Melody is a great actress. She played a small part in our film Alexis. She was awesome in that, and I've never met anybody with this much energy. She's one of the few people I know that talks more than Bobby Gould. And when she talks, it actually means something sometimes. You know.
Well, I'm honored because most of the time I feel like I'm just talking nonsense. But yeah, I'm an entertaining girl. I get enjoyment out of entertaining. So if it entertains you, then good.
No, thank
Most
you.
of the
Melody.
time,
What's
it's
your
just nonsense.
website again? Shout
My
that out.
website is thetalentedmelodyjoy.com. A friend made the name, so I didn't make it. I didn't even make the site, but I do try and keep up with it. And everything's on there. My new album's coming out. It's all self-produced. You'd really
Wow.
like it. Yeah, it's
When's
really
your
cool.
next show?
My next show, I have one actually on Thursday, so I have to get my buns back to New York. It's in Brooklyn. And I have another one in Manhattan at Sullivan Hall on Sunday, the 11th, for like a big college DJ festival. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
Good.
Yay!
As you all
you.
know, I'm not a good photographer, but I am the best in this country. And most of the most beautiful pictures I've ever taken
Are
have
of
been
me.
Melody.
I can totally vouch for that. Yeah, I'm serious. So,
Well, thank you, Melody.
you.
Thanks for stopping by. I know you're
Thank
busy,
you.
but
I gotta head
thank you
out.
very much.
But thank you
All right,
for having
we'll
me.
see you later.
Thank you for voting too.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, again, we have quite a few different sports stories to cover here through the Steelers.
Well, what about the WPIAL playoffs? The football playoffs are going on this past weekend was the opening weekend of them, and there's some pretty amazing athletes in the WPIAL. Clareton is undefeated. They've won 57 games in a row, but Tyler Boyd is so far this year in his career, he's scored 100 touchdowns in his high school football career. And I believe the high school record in the state of Pennsylvania is 123. And if Clareton does make it all the way to the state championships, that means that Clareton will more than likely play 6 more games, and which would give him a chance to break that record, which is kind of an accomplishment. There's another young man running back for Washington High School, and I can't for the life of me think of his name, but he's put up, I think, 4 200-yard rushing games in a row. He's a pretty amazing athlete, and one of the more amazing statistics about the Whippeals this year is South Fayette. They're an undefeated team, and in high school football they have a mercy rule where if you're winning in the second half by 35 points, they run the clock nonstop to end the game instead of stopping it after every possession. And their last 10 games in a row have all gone to the mercy rule. They've just dominated everybody, and it looks like they're going to dominate the Double A? I believe they're in the Double A. So keep an eye out for them.
Well, nobody will beat Aliquippa in Double A.
Since you just went through all those great things about Clareton, wouldn't you say it's about time they step up in class?
I would agree. I think there's a number of teams in high school. I think Clareton should move up from single A to double A. I think Thomas Jefferson should move from triple A to quad A. There's quite a number of teams that seem to dominate their division that they need to, play better talent.
Thomas Jefferson should move up to the NCAA. They're always big. They're always a great team. Jim, you said you went to the City League Championship?
Yeah, we did the City League Championship game for TV for years. The City League Championship game was at Heinz Field, but for the last 4 years, there seemed to be a scheduling conflict with Heinz Field just for the cities. So it was at Couple Stadium, and it was a hard-fought game. One of the assistant coaches for University Prep is former Pittsburgh Steeler and West Virginia McKeesport High School standout Mike Logan, and just like in high school, he was on the losing end of this one again.
Who'd they lose to in high school? Gateway?
Gateway, Ben Hill,
Jim,
Sarah Catholic.
Isn't it true that the reason that they moved away from Heinz Field back to Couple Stadium was that a couple of times the teams that were in the championship game were not allowed to bring any fans? Yeah, which would look kind of bad at Heinz Field.
That is true. That is true.
And even Al has a story about trying to escape from out from under the bleachers there.
Exactly. They even banned the crowds back then in the 60s.
Really?
Yeah.
That was before you had the afro?
While I had it was just starting to sprout out. I used my pick. I didn't have any of that blowout. I didn't have any of that blowout stuff that Ralph's Discount was selling. But I knew where to get it. You got one of those spare picks? Any of those God kids got a spare pick?
Got the fist on the side. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
get a shot of the coach there.
well
A little comic relief.
once again, we do have a lot of guests today. We're going to bring up another excellent young lady, another model, actress, just recently auditioned for our next upcoming films. Her name is Elle Yutzi. Elle, come on up. Hello. So Elle, tell us a little bit about what you have going on.
So right now, I recently did 2 pretty big fashion shows in Pittsburgh. I did Pittsburgh Fashion Week for Steinmart, and I did Pittsburgh Fashion Story with Douglas Chemlin, with E.B. Pepper, and Roberta Leather, and Juke Boutique, so that was pretty exciting. All I can say is that you guys been talking about, Pitt, and Notre Dame game. You know, I got
Who's your team?
Mountaineers all the way.
All right,
No.
I'm a big Mountaineer fan.
Except they have no defense this year.
Hey, the last game we did pretty good though.
Yeah,
Our
they-
defense,
yeah.
it was like a brand new defense. Like,
Yeah,
who are these
they
people?
did really well the last game. They only gave up 39 points. But
Hey.
the only problem
Hey.
was they only scored 38.
You open the door, El. You
Oh,
open
I'm
the
okay with it.
door.
But
You don't
listen,
go to
I told you not to
WVU,
take it
do you?
personally.
You don't go there.
Of course I go to WVU.
Well, what's the thought down there? They can't burn couches. It's a felony.
Yeah,
And then now they're not winning. So what's the point of all that?
Well, no, that's the reason why they're not burning couches.
No, it's a felony. It's a felony, though.
Yeah.
She'll tell you.
It was always illegal.
You know,
No,
it
but it's a
is,
felony.
They
to
can't
a certain
spell it.
extent, it is getting a little out of control. I did witness a couch burning. I was petrified. Don't tell my mom.
This is going to be recorded, and then it'll be on
Oh, I
YouTube.
know.
Bleep that out.
She'll be able to
Bleep
see
that
it.
out.
What's her
She's actually
email?
right there.
What's her email? Mom, here it comes.
I actually witnessed it, and I was petrified. And the students, you know, they are a little on the wild side, but the university took over Sunnyside, so hopefully it goes down. But, you know, we just love our school, and we love our Mountaineers, and, you know, let's go Dub V.
How's the moonshine and grain alcohol? That might be one of the issues there.
No.
Now, can you report on
Sitting
that?
right there. She's not going to tell you that.
I'm just asking some of the other students, not you.
Yeah, no, not me,
You're
not me.
innocent. El, come on.
No,
But I'm saying I know they make a little moonshine and grain alcohol in
I've
the neighborhood.
the places I've been, there hasn't been too much moonshine. I'll put it that
They
way.
don't show you that, just so you know. Those little white containers that you think are water jugs.
Oh, I know.
Okay, they aren't water jugs.
Yeah, my brother got a finance degree from West Virginia. Great school. He had a great time. He always comes back for some of the games. They really love
Yeah.
their sports now.
Yeah, you know, they don't have any professional sports, so I mean, you gotta love where you're from. Easy as that.
We
I would
appreciate
say
loyalty.
it's probably a fun school to go to. You don't want to dress up as a couch for Halloween. But
Someone actually did.
And they're not here with us anymore. They're gone.
The WVU did suffer a heartbreaking loss this weekend, and Elle was there at the game, and she said it was
Poor
particularly
Elle. Sad.
disappointing the way they lost in 3 overtimes. And you know, I got to tip my hat to the TCU. Their head coach actually went for the win instead of kicking the extra point to tie the game to send it to a 4th overtime. They went for 2, and they put it all on the line, and it was either win or lose. And unfortunately
what
for
it
your
is.
Mountaineers, they lost that one.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking when it happened. You could literally, I've never heard that stadium as quiet as it was, and you could hear a pin drop. It was,
I heard it once before when Pitt beat them there.
yeah. Who won the backyard brawl last year?
My son's a WVU fan, and I still remember when my hot chocolate froze at halftime there. So that's how cold it was there.
Should put a little moonshine in it.
I didn't have any. I didn't know El at the
play
time.
this week.
They play Oklahoma State.
It might be a little bit rough.
Yeah, it'd
Of
be a
course,
little
Oklahoma
rough.
State, they might be reeling a little bit after the whooping that they took from
Kansas State. Oh,
We
yeah.
lost against them too.
What
Yeah.
we'd like you to do is come back the day after or the weekend, after
After the,
Mountaineers win one.
that'll be. Hopefully
next
it's the
year.
Iowa game. Hey,
Maybe it'll be the Iowa.
hopefully it's the Iowa game.
I just want to see if you smell like kerosene.
No, not me. I'm a good kid. I promise. I'm a good kid.
Mom heard that. Oh, she moved. She's getting closer to hear some of this. Honest, you can see this on YouTube in a couple days, Mom.
Elle gave us a great audition. Hopefully you'll see her in one of Cool Front's upcoming films.
Yeah, hopefully. All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Very good.
Thank you
Nice
guys
talking
so
to you.
much. It's nice
Thanks
being
for
on the
coming
show.
on.
Go Steelers too, El. All right. Very good.
Well, we always talk about how Pittsburgh is not only a great football city and a good hockey city. Pittsburgh is one of the all-time great boxing cities. We've had some great boxers come from Pittsburgh, and a new professional had a great amateur career here. Well, they say, who can? Mexican. We're going to bring up Sammy Vasquez's father, Sam Vasquez, to tell us a little bit about what one of Pittsburgh's next great fighters is doing. Sam, come on up.
All right.
take this. You talk.
There you go. Well, we got another show coming here, November 24th at Ross River Ice Garden. We're trying to be a little different the way we go at it. We're staying really busy. We're going to have 6 fights in 8 months.
Wow.
That's really fast, but
Old
train
school.
6 days a week, 3 times a day. Family, friends, and our fans are the best. So no matter what show we go on to, if it's the Rivers Casino, Mountaineer, put our own shows on, we got 1,500 plus fans. So from 2 years old to 92 years old. So,
God bless.
And I'll vouch for it. I've seen your fans.
so we got a great
They're
following.
loyal.
Yep.
They start that yelling there. I
That's
think you
it.
were leading them the last time.
Oh yeah, I got to. Yep.
Come on out to the show. What is it? Saturday, November 24th at the Ross Straver Ice Arena. It's close by, folks.
He's also been in the military for 8 years, 2 tours in Iraq. So, trying to do
Come out and
everything right.
support them.
Lot of
Who
support.
can?
Mexican.
Mexican.
Well,
There we go.
Jim and I have
I'm the
been,
new pie trainer here.
Jim and I have been we've been doing boxing shows for as long as we've known each other. In fact, that's where I met Jim. It was at a boxing show. We see a lot of great amateur fighters since we do the Golden Gloves and stuff. Jim, Sammy Vasquez, tell us just how good he is.
Best I ever seen on the amateur, and I think he's going to be a world champion pros. I tell you what, if you love boxing, if you love excitement, I think the one thing what's happening with boxing that's losing its attractiveness is because the sport is getting so boring. Everybody don't want to fight each other, and then when they fight one another, they want to hug and whatnot. Sammy comes in that ring, and I tell you what, he is dynamite. It's all action all the time, and I tell you what, he works the body and the head, and I tell you what, I've never seen anybody go the distance with Sammy V.
Sam, what weight class does Sammy fight in?
152, 147 and 152, welterweight.
So, and well, right now that's where all the fights are.
Yeah,
That's
where
where
it's at.
I mean, every that weight class, all the big fights, money fights in boxing are in that area. You got Pacquiao, you got Mayweather, you got a lot of great fighters there, and a lot of good fights. Sammy, just starting out as a pro is what, 5-0?
5-0.
5-0. But boy, what a future this guy's got. Keep watching these fights. If you get a chance to go to Ross Straver on the 24th, I guarantee you that it will be a very entertaining fight. And also on the card, Andreas, and I can't even say his last name, but
The
this
Greek.
Greek kid here.
The Greek.
Another
That's
great
it.
local fighter. Andreas is another really good fighter. I believe this will be a very exciting boxing card for you if you can get a chance to get out there and see it. But we've seen, like I said, Sammy come up through the Golden Gloves and absolutely never a boring fight. And he's all business. He comes in, he wins his fight, and he gets out of there. And about 300 people travel with him everywhere we go.
Yeah.
They're there. They all have the Who Can Mexican shirts or towels or whatever. Very popular fighter. Was it out of Elizabeth?
Out of Menneson.
Nesson.
Yep.
Nesson, and
Same place as Michael Moore.
That's it. Heavyweight champion of the world, southpaw.
And I tell you what, real quickly, if you can, because we love guys that work hard. You're talking about 6 days a week, three times a day he works out. Just give us a typical day in Sammy's life.
Well, he's actually in Colorado right now, so he's training up there at the altitude. He gets that good. He gets his 6-mile run in the morning, comes back, chills out for a little bit, goes to the gym at noon, comes back, and then does his training at night, his boxing at night.
I love the work ethic. Love the
That's
work
why
ethic.
he's staying busy. That's why we're fighting like we're fighting. To get somewhere, you got to be different, and we're trying to do everything different. So
Good luck. It sounds like a great plan.
staying busy.
in addition to being Sammy's father, you're also the promoter for this show.
Yes.
Let me ask you, because some of this is stuff that I've always found interesting, is how you decide who you want to fight, when you think it's time to step up to the next level, that kind of thing. When you're bringing a fighter up, like you're bringing Sammy, which is more personal for yourself as your father, but as you're looking for fights for him, what are you looking for?
Well, it's actually Team Vasquez and A&D Promotion is promoting this fight, and we have Chuck Bailey's our matchmaker. So we're going to move up to a 6th rounder this time, and we actually have a nice, good, solid fighter, Manuel Guzman. He got like 35 fights because it's really hard for us to get a fight.
Wow.
Because everybody wants, you know, they see him fight. We had to take all our stuff off YouTube. No more free shows. So, you know what I mean? But basically this guy, Manuel Guzman, he fights all guys with like 10-0 records, 12-0 records. So he's like a 500 fighter, but he goes the distance with everybody.
Wow.
And he's a really tough kid because he fights everybody, all quality guys. So.
All right, and aside from Sammy, since you've been involved with this with boxing here in Pittsburgh for a while, who are the other good fighters that you like from this area?
Well, Jesse Lubass was a good fighter. We haven't heard nothing from him for a while, but he got a nice record, 15-0. He did really good. Paul Spatafor's back now.
When's his fight, Sam?
December 1st, down in Mountaineer. So, but the Greek, Andreas, pro debut.
Can't wait.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Andreas is
Nobody goes to the body like the
That's
Greek.
it.
It's like your man Rocky Marciano, right? A little history you were telling us about.
Rocky wasn't Greek though.
Well, I know, but
well. When I was, you've heard me on this show say over and over again, I always thought Tika Hemingway was a great fighter. Lubash brothers were good fighters. And I'm a huge Monty Clay fan.
Yeah, Monty
I
Clay,
think
yeah.
Monty Clay is the most exciting fighter that I've ever seen. I mean, there's never a dull second in any Monty's fights.
Mesa Clay, you gotta get that Mexican
Yeah,
in
there
there.
you go.
Mama said, Monty Mesa Clay.
there we
And
go.
then another female fight. Wait, Raquan. No, my mistake. Raquan Quinn was not a female fighter. But he was fairly popular in some areas. He just fought like he was a female fighter. But he was, people locally liked him too. Except, he never really wanted
Throw in
to
the
fight
towel.
with anybody.
you
Some
go.
were down on the other side of the table where there's somebody who thinks that he could have actually beat Monty Clay. And you know better than that.
Yeah.
But he's your guy, isn't he?
Raquan the Show Kimbrough, 6-time national amateur champion coming up through the ranks. So
Yeah. Well, that
USA boxing.
and just like Clareton saying at AAA, Raquan probably should have quit fighting nursery school and kindergarten championships. This guy never want to fight anybody, ever. But anyway, Sam, thanks for coming. If you want to put out your information one more
Appreciate
time, if you have a website or anything.
Yeah, whocanmexican.com.
Say that again, or I'm going to say it.
Whocanmexican.com.
.com.
Team Vasquez. November 24th, Ross River Ice Garden.
Sam, good luck.
Thank you.
And our next show here at Level 20 will be on the 19th. We won't be here next Monday, but we'll be here on the 19th, and we'll actually have Sammy Vasquez with us that night. So
Awesome.
tune in again. He's a great fighter. He's a great kid to talk to. I'm sure you'll enjoy that one too. Thanks for coming in, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for coming.
Thanks, man.
Pleasure to have you.
Thanks.
Well, guys, any last thoughts? Pirates went into free agency. I believe that they actually, I'm sure it must have been heartbreaking for them, but they did not offer Rod Barajas the $3.1 million that would have took to keep him here.
Shocking.
Yeah, that was a big shock.
Shocker.
Not offering $3 million to somebody who could bat their weight.
No, I think he was underweight.
But he couldn't bat his weight.
By the end of the season, he was underweight. Come on. He was below the Mendoza line and his belt line.
That was the diet he was on.
Yeah, it was called lack of hits.
So I have not heard anything about them making an offer for Josh Hamilton or any of the other better free agents this year. They did retain Pedro Alvarez for $700,000 a year.
They picked up his option for this year, and they also who was it?
Rodriguez?
No,
Alex?
he's not a free agent.
He doesn't have to be. They're shopping him around a little.
No, they're not. He'll be the starting third baseman for the Yankees next year. Count on it. But pretty much nobody's made any moves. I mean, other than the Red Sox signing David Ortiz, and then and of course he had to give him some parting shots to Bobby Valentine because Bobby Valentine seems to be blaming all his misfortune this past year on everybody but himself. True to form. I think he needs to go back to Japan. At least, he didn't make everybody mad there because they couldn't understand what he was saying.
All right, well, that's I guess that's pretty much a wrap up for us. Guys, got anything else you want to do? Parting shots? All right then. Well, again, who can? Mexican. We'll see you on the 19th, or we'll talk to Sammy Vasquez. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming down to the Level 20, and please come on back. Thanks a lot.